Hey, I'm back, drying up my mixing bowl, and we are going to do the, oh, that is so not right. I was already on the right page. This is gonna be my last one until either later or till the next time, because it's getting really close to car pickup time. Any parent that has the child in the elementary or intermediate or whichever your school calls it, you know, you got to get in that pickup line pretty early, or you're like the last man in line. And your child's ready to fall asleep by the time you get to them. So those lines at a certain point can get like rush hour traffic in Houston or traffic in Dallas all day long. So got my bowl and all my utensils and everything that I need rinsed out. And I've moved everything I don't need to make room for all the things I do need. And we're gonna go over that right now. I've got all that mess from my last video from the mocha coffee mix cleaned up. And before I leave, I'm gonna put all my jars in the dishwasher and sanitize them. But for now, I just did another wash with some hot water. Well, if you prefer warm water, I use hot water. It helps things dry and sanitize easier and gets more of the soapy scum off. So did it with just a little bit of dish liquid and hot water. This isn't like the big jars. I can't stick my whole hand in it, so I've got to just kind of not compromise. I just have to figure it out as I go. So the next thing that we're going to do is the chai latte mix. I made this one as Christmas gifts. Gosh, it's been a good few years ago. I feel like every time I talk about how many years ago it's been, the more I start to feel old for the day. Though I'm not really old. Immature people don't grow up. They don't get old. Can live to be 100. Okay, so the things that we're going to use in this one are the powdered non-dairy creamer. We're going to do a cup of that. It's for a pint jar. We're going to try to keep this area clean so we don't have another spillage into any of our ingredients. We're also going to use unsweet instant. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Cut. We are not doing that properly, are we? Okay, so let's start over. We're going to use a cup of powdered non-fat. No, hold on. Yes, no, haha. I'm all over the place. That is my milk. And we were fixing to mess up yet again. So see, always go everything more than once. It's kind of like contractors say. Measure twice, hammer once. Cooking is the same way. You don't put anything into your bowl or you go anywhere with your task ahead until you are 100% sure that you've got everything correct. That's why when I'm done with a previous recipe or ingredients, I actually take all the things I don't need and I move them over there. But I meant to put some of this in a bowl, so I guess I thought I did, but oh, we didn't. So thank goodness we caught that. So we're gonna use a cup of powdered non-dairy creamer. Any brand, any type works. We're gonna use some unsweet instant tea. There's no lemon in that. Oh, if I looked at it and it said lemon, my whole heart would drop. because I don't need any lemon in this. And then we're going to use our granulated sugar, which is just regular old sugar. Oh, there it is. That's why I still had it. Now we're going to use the non-fat dry milk. It's going to be about 3 tablespoons, so not a whole lot of it. We're also going to use packed brown sugar. And we're going to use a half a teaspoon of each of these next spices. We're going to use a half a teaspoon of ground allspice in whichever brand. It doesn't have to be organic. It's what was offered in my area, so this is what I got. Ground allspice. Oh, let me put them in order. Ground cardamom. Yes, cardamom. Cardamom. It's spelled and sounds the same. We're going to use ground cloves, ground cinnamon, and ground ginger. I'm allergic to ginger, so this is not a recipe that I've actually tried. But the people that I did it for said it was really, 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 really good. So we're going to start at the very beginning and use 1 cup of powdered non-dairy creamer. As I said, always check and make sure you're using the proper tools. You see in my kitchen it can get a little hairy if I'm not doing the... You know, it's so easy in so many different ways to even out your... But I try my best to make as little mess as possible. And I probably should have put that in a bowl like I had originally planned. We're going to use 1 cup of powdered non-dairy creamer. This is for a pint jar worth of mix. 3/4 of a cup. I do that every time. Of instant unsweet tea. That smells really good. I'm just going to dump this one in. So I want 3/4, which is 6 ounces. The greatest part about cooking is most of the time you don't have to figure anything else out. It's there for you. And red and white, black and white, whatever color your measuring cup is. Just a little bit more. That'll do it. So that's 3/4 of a cup of instant unsweet tea. Just gonna dump it right in there. 1/4 a cup of granulated sugar. I'm gonna go slow because we want to make sure we get this right. 1/4 a cup granulated sugar. 3 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk. So your tablespoon is usually the biggest spoon on there. 1 TBSP of non-fat dry milk. We're going to use 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. Instead of using that one, I'm going to grab another one for the sticky. There we go. So again, if you didn't watch the other videos first, this is 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. So we're going to use the tablespoon. think my husband is home. Oh, nope, that's just my dog trying to dig a hole in his little couch again. So I'm just using this half of a tablespoon here to pack it down. There's one. I don't want any lumps in this. So it wouldn't be very pleasant in your drink, even though it should still dissolve. Or you could just smush it with a spoon. Alright, so there's 2 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk. And you know what? Oh, no. 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. Now, we're going to go back a step because I only put 1 tablespoon of non-fat dry milk. So we're going to put 2 more because it should be 3 tablespoons of non-fat dry milk. I apologize. Follow the recipe in the comments. In the description below. So there's 3. That's more like it. And if I go back and watch this video and see that I still didn't put enough in, I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna keep laughing. All right, so we have 1 cup of powdered non-dairy creamer, 3/4 a cup of instant unsweet tea, a fourth of a cup of granulated sugar, 3 tablespoons, maybe, of non-fat dry milk, and 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar. I just bought these, so I'm going to take all the lids off. You know, spices, if they're not kept properly, they have a shelf life that's a lot faster than normal. Stay close. You really should keep them in a dark space. And having these clear jars, as far as I know, is probably not the best, but they really are pretty. So if you use a lot of spices, I guess it doesn't matter. But I've seen some cooks and chefs, they keep them in colorless or non-clear jars in their drawers. And I do have some in my drawer behind me, but the ones that I use on a regular basis, I refill these little jars that I had my sister help me label. And I just keep those refilled so I can grab them over by my stove as I'm using them. I do cook a lot, and the ones that I have over there, they are ones that I use all the time. So they don't stay empty for very long. Okay, so we're going to start with the allspice, a 1/2 teaspoon. And just to save me the trouble, I'm just going to use one that isn't attached to anything else. So we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of ground cardamom. Do that out. As little mess as possible. There's a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cardamom with its lid and stuff. And we're going to use the allspice. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of allspice. Leave it over there. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. Cinnamon likes to be the show stealer, doesn't it? So you got to kind of tame it down. We're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of ground cloves. And again, this is all ground spices. None of them are whole. Alright, and then we're going to do, finally, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. It smells like Thanksgiving and Christmas up in here. Really, it does. So, sorry, we're going to do some of those so that I don't get confused on what's what. Alright, so there's all the ingredients together. I tell you, this is a really, really nice mix for the holidays. Wow. I didn't think it was going to be that dark. Oh. I don't know why I wasn't thinking it was going to be dark. Oh well. No matter. And again, if you want to make this a little more blended, yeah, that's just the brown sugar bits. You can use your hand and do this, or you can get the flour sifter out. Personally, I think I'm gonna leave it just like this once I get it blended, a little more blended, because I think it really makes it look pretty that way in the jar. It really smells like a candle in my house right now. You know, sometimes you smell a candle and you're like, ooh, I want to eat that. Well, you know what? If you like Christmas candles, here's the version you can eat or drink at least. Look at that. That's so pretty. It almost looks like you could draw in it. Yay. I'm glad my son's not here while I'm saying that. He'd run over here off of his computer or whatever he was doing, and he'd be like, can I draw in it? Kids, they don't have to like eating something or drinking something to play in it. Now everybody's gonna see why I put my apron on. Alright, so now that's done. We've got some Chai Tea Latte mix. We're gonna pick a really pretty let's use this one. It's a little earthy. I'm getting all my stuff ready from a jar. And we're going to, I don't know if I'm in view. Let me look. Yep, a little bit. I'm going to put the date. Not. Which is 9/23/2021. It's hard to believe this year is almost over. I feel like the years are going by so fast now. Oh, almost forgot the most important part. Telling them what the date is. It's the prepared on date. Like I said, all the ingredients will be on the list of things, so people can use their best judgment. So I am making some good time today, but the funny part is I'm nowhere near done, because I've got to make tons and tons of this stuff after I pick up my son from school to actually start selling this weekend at a local flea market that they have on the 4th and 2nd weekend, the 2nd and the 4th weekends of every month here in Gregg County. And it's not a very large flea market, but I go there. I've been going there to buy stuff, see people, and it's really a nice place. We have people there who get, you know, if you need something, some wood for a craft or something, they're woodcutters. We have some things that are like a normal flea market used to be, where it's flea market stuff, I guess. I don't know how to say that. Just resell used stuff. And yeah, there's people there who sell homemade jewelry. There's people who sell knitted things, and a really nice concession stand. But it's a really nice off the beaten path type of little flea market that when my niece was selling or making homemade soap or soaps and bath bombs, her and I would go over there and I'd sell some jewelry. I don't make jewelry to sell, I just sell it if people want to buy it. But yeah, we did that, and this is ridiculous. It says it's a pint jar, but we're not gonna be able to make it. That's all right. That is the coolest looking thing. I'll just use some of that in another jar when I make a whole one. That maybe that's just the extra for drinking. You know, just put a little bit too much stuff, I suppose, but it's all good. We're gonna go ahead and put this on here. And I'm having to keep these apart because I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna label them just yet, because they have so much stuff all over the jar. Not the typical jar I would use, but I was a little desperate. But I want to show you this. Look at that. That is so cool. It's like tiger striped sand. I'm so glad I didn't put this one in the sifter and fine ground it. But I mean, if you do, it's fine as well. But I think that is pretty. I think that is just absolutely perfect. Especially if you want to give gifts. You kind of want to have that original look. So let's keep that one over here. So how to make that if you're making that for yourself, and of course all the rest of it, including how to make one serving and any extra things you will need to make yourself a serving, will be in the description below. So you will need 2 tablespoons of chai tea latte mix, 1 cup mug of hot milk, or like I said, you can use any kind of milk. The only way you're going to find out if it works is if you try it with water or another type of milk. And one or a half, let's say that a different way, a half of or 1 full teaspoon of honey. Okay, so you'll need 2 tablespoons of the latte mix, 1 cup of hot milk, and a half a cup, and a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of honey. Spoon the latte mix into a cup or mug, add hot milk, and stir to dissolve. Stir in the honey and serve hot. And as always, enjoy. So we're gonna call that quits for now. I did say that we would do a double up recipe, and I haven't forgotten that at all, but my time is very limited in the afternoons, and I'm gonna start making those double recipes when I get back and have given my child a snack. But now I'm gonna clean up my mess, make sure I don't get any of this on my, I get stuff on my clothes all the time, try not to. And I hope you enjoy, and I will be back sooner or later.